Todd Chrisley's family desperate to move on in peace from estranged daughter Lindsie, but she won't stop dragging them through the mud. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Todd Chrisley's family wants to move forward from drama with their estranged daughter, Lindsie Chrisley, but can't due to her continuing to talk about them. RadarOnline.com can exclusively reveal. Lindsie recently did a 3-part podcast where she talked about her family and their issues. Lindsie Chrisley using her family's name for fame and attention. Lindsie Chrisley's grandmother advised her to let this all go and stop talking about her family, a source shared. Mega. By Lindsie continuing to go out in the press and do podcasts about her family, who she claimed at one point she wanted to drop the last name of, proves Todd, Julie, Savannah, Chase, and the rest of the family right, a production insider claimed. She is continuing to use their name for fame and attention, and this is why the family continues to have issues with her. Even her grandmother advised her to let this all go and stop talking about them, as Todd has made it clear he can't have her in his life after she was involved in their trial, the source added. While Todd and his family have made it clear they need their space and haven't been addressing the topic, the source noted she yet again goes and makes a 3-part podcast talking about them. Is Lindsie Chrisley spewing things about the family in the public arena? How is this someone they would want to move forward with, as she continues to spew things about them in the public arena? The insider questioned. Todd, Julie, and their family want nothing more than to move forward in peace and to stop talking about Lindsie, but as she keeps trying to drag their family through the mud with her stories, they keep having to address it, the source concluded. It's getting old. On the October 29th episode of the Chrisley Confessions podcast, Todd, Julie, and Chase spoke out about Lindsie's podcast. Todd, Julie, and Chase Chrisley respond to Lindsie's podcast. We found out this morning through our attorneys that Lindsie had been working with Kale Lowry on this 3-part podcast, Todd shared, referring to the Teen Mom star. Don't forget, she has tagged Patreon because we're going to give you content for free. She wants you to pay to get content for receipts. I'm going to give you receipts for free. I don't know many ways you can spin this S, he continued. I'm over it. I'm not talking about this stuff anymore. It is unfortunate, Todd's wife, Julie, added. You know I'm not drama-filled. I do not like drama. I do not like for there to be tension in this family. Julie also revealed Lindsie asked me to adopt her when she was over 18, which she did. Todd Chrisley addresses Lindsie changing her name. Todd also addressed Lindsie changing her name on Instagram in July from Lindsie Chrisley to Lindsie Landsman, and now it's back to Lindsie Chrisley. My thing is, you've gone on your podcast, you've gone on your social media, you've said that you changed your last name because Chrisley had hurt you with brand deals, he said. If you're going to change your last name, take our last name off your social media. Chase, for his part, added Lindsie is pissed off that she got kicked off the show, and she didn't have that paycheck anymore. That's what this is about, he added. She's bitter about all of this. I don't really give a s about this anymore. I don't care. Just shut up. Todd Chrisley's family continues to push forward in their effort to rebuild their lives, yet the ongoing tension with his estranged daughter Lindsie remains a source of deep frustration and emotional strain. As the Chrisley household tries to heal from years of legal battles, public scrutiny, and personal upheaval, those closest to Todd say they are desperate to move on in peace. However, they believe Lindsie's continued public comments make that nearly impossible. In recent months, the Chrisley name resurfaced repeatedly across social media and various platforms, much of it connected to Lindsie's remarks about her father, her siblings, and the wider family dynamic. While the Chrisley family is accustomed to headlines, insiders say the latest wave of attention has taken a toll on their attempts to find stability after the turmoil that followed Todd and Julie Chrisley's incarceration and eventual release. According to those within their circle, there is a growing sense that the family cannot fully reclaim their private lives as long as Lindsie continues to revisit old wounds in the public eye. Todd, who has long been vocal about wanting to protect his wife Julie and their children from unnecessary stress, has reportedly made significant strides since returning to a more grounded daily routine. His younger children and close relatives say they've seen a noticeable change in his mindset. Supporters describe him as calmer, more reflective, and determined to strengthen the relationships that remain intact. The family has prioritized emotional recovery, focusing on creating an environment where forgiveness and progress can take root. Yet they insist that this process is backed into a corner each time Lindsie reignites conflict by addressing private matters in interviews. For years, the relationship between Todd and Lindsie has been complicated. Their disagreements, once contained within the family home, eventually spilled into the public sphere, making them targets of gossip, speculation, and intense tabloid coverage. The fallout grew during the period of legal troubles, when different family members took different positions, often publicly and sometimes painfully. Many in the Chrisley household hoped time and distance would ease tensions, allowing each side to find clarity without the glare of the spotlight. Instead, they feel that the cycle has only intensified. A person close to the family shared that those within the Chrisley circle no longer know what Lindsie's intentions are. Some believe she is trying to reclaim her own narrative after years of feeling overshadowed. Others say she is still wrestling with unresolved hurts. But the family maintains that every time they attempt to forgive and progress, another statement or interview from her disrupts their fragile momentum. They argue that they cannot achieve peace if their personal history keeps being reopened publicly. Savannah Chrisley, who has become one of the family's most vocal defenders, has often addressed the strain with her sister, though she carefully balances transparency with privacy. Savannah has spoken about wanting everyone to heal while making clear that she feels an obligation to protect her parents and younger siblings from what she perceives as unnecessary negativity. She has expressed disappointment that family matters continue surfacing in public conversations instead of being resolved privately where they belong. Those close to Savannah say she longs for reconciliation someday, but insists that boundaries must be respected for healing to be possible. The family's supporters argue that Todd and Julie have endured enough disruption in their lives and deserve an opportunity to rebuild without facing fresh waves of controversy. They highlight how much the couple has tried to focus on positivity, personal growth, and the future. They say that the couple hopes for a narrative shift away from conflict and toward restoration. But they worry that this shift will never occur if the divisions with Lindsie remain in the public domain. Though the Chrisley family has chosen not to respond to every remark Lindsie makes, their silence has not prevented the stories from circulating. Some family members privately wonder whether their refusal to engage fuels even more speculation. Still, they emphasize that publicly battling with Lindsie is the last thing they want. Instead, they prefer to disengage, believing that peace comes from stepping away from hostility, not feeding it. For her part, Lindsie has maintained that she is simply speaking her truth. She has expressed that she feels misrepresented and misunderstood, insisting that she has the right to discuss her experiences. Her critics within the family argue that speaking her truth should not require publicly criticizing people who are trying to move beyond the most painful chapter of their lives. They insist that her commentary consistently paints the worst possible picture of the family and overlooks the attempts they have made to reconcile in the past. The core issue appears to be trust, or rather the absence of it. Both sides have felt betrayed at different moments. Both sides have been hurt by rumors, accusations, and miscommunications. And both sides have struggled to navigate their emotions while the world watches. Now, as Todd and Julie focus on rebuilding their personal and professional lives, they believe that continuing to be pulled into public conflict could jeopardize the progress they have fought hard to make. Despite the challenges, sources say the Chrisley family has not ruled out the possibility of reconciliation. They acknowledge that relationships this deeply intertwined cannot be severed easily, nor do they wish to abandon hope forever. At the same time, they realize that reconciliation cannot be forced. They believe that healing can only occur when both sides commit to private conversations and mutual understanding instead of public criticism. For now, the family's priority remains peace, stability, and the well-being of their immediate household. They are channeling their efforts into positive endeavors, strengthening the bonds among those who remain close, and focusing on a future where they can live without the shadow of past conflicts hanging over them. Whether Lindsie chooses to join them in this vision remains uncertain, but the family insists that their door is not closed. What they seek most is an end to the public drama and a chance to move forward quietly, with dignity, and at last in peace. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.